Good morning, good morning. So I am about to make my house tea. So for this morning, since we are here, might as well get in some extra vitamins, extra minerals, extra good stuff into us during the day. So house tea is something that I make on a regular basis and not just during, times like this, our new reality. But this is something, especially when everybody is at home on days and when everybody is at home and there's something else to drink besides water. I really don't buy juices or drinks for my kids to drink. I'll do an herbal tea, and I put them in this. I found this really great jar here at Walmart that has a spigot on it, so and I can make quite a bit of tea. So this is a lot. I don't know if you can see how big this jar is. So I buy this, and this lasts my family. Actually, it's going to be gone by the end of the day. It may last until tomorrow. It may not, but I have 5 kids, plus my mom lives here. And so it's a lot of us here to drink off of this tea. So in here, I have what's making it red is actually hibiscus. So I get this from the DeKalb Farmers Market. This container cost me $1.09. You can buy hibiscus already in the tea bags. It's fairly inexpensive, but this is even less expensive. And typically when I'm at the farmer's market, I'll pick up about 5 or 6 of those. So I use that as the base. I probably filled the bottom of this bowl. If you can see, it's a pretty, it's not a huge bowl, but it's a pretty big bowl. It's like a small mixing bowl with the hibiscus. And then I also added some ginger in here. So I took a piece of ginger, not this big, probably about that much. And I sliced it up. Since it did steep overnight, I didn't want the ginger to be overwhelming in my tea. So I didn't use a whole lot. And then I used a piece of turmeric. I will grab it here. Just a piece of turmeric about this size. I cut it up and chopped it in. And I added a few peppercorns in here. I added the peppercorns because our body's ability to take up the good stuff that's in the turmeric is increased by like 1,000 or something percent when you use it in conjunction with something like peppercorns, and just a few peppercorns. And I also added a few cinnamon sticks. It just makes things nice and warming, feel homey. Still, it's kind of rainy today, so I wanted that sort of cider type feel to this. So if you don't know, the hibiscus here, this is good for all sorts of things. It actually is great for blood pressure. It can work as a diuretic. If you're, sometimes when you take things or supplements for blood pressure, they only work on one of those numbers, whether this is the systolic number or the diastolic number. Hibiscus is one herb that's been proven to work and can lower both numbers. So it's really great for that. And it's full of vitamin C. Then I also use some ginger. It's anti-inflammatory. It's warming to your system. It's good for your sinuses, and there's a lot of pollen out. My kids still go outside, and so there's quite a bit of pollen out. So to sort of combat that, help your sinuses drain, ginger is good for your stomach. It's good for nausea. Is good for settling your stomach. It's just good for a whole host of things. The cinnamon is actually antimicrobial. It has antimicrobial properties. I actually made cleaning vinegar where I put cinnamon sticks into like a glass jar, something like this, like an old glass jar. I will fill it with cinnamon sticks and cloves. Both are antimicrobial. And then I will fill it with vinegar and let it sit. I actually have one in the cabinet. I'll show you in a bit. And then the turmeric is anti-inflammatory. It's good for a whole host of things. So it's just something good for my family to drink off of. The only other thing I added that's not pictured here, and I will grab it, are rose hips. And I'm actually getting ready to prepare breakfast. So these are rose hips. These are rose hips. Let me see if I can take some out with one hand. But rose hips are actually, they grow at the bottom of the wild rose plants. Here we are. And they're actually the fruit from the rose plant. These are full of vitamin C. They're full of vitamin E and lycopene, which is good for your heart. So I have these in here. And then we sort of, I am concerned about taste because I actually want them to drink it. So do I sweeten this tea? So sometimes I'll use honey. Sometimes I will use succonac. if you're not familiar with succonaut, and I couldn't find any at the market this time. So succonaut is raw sugar in its raw form, but if you know about the sugar making process, they sort of take the sugar cane and then they boil it, and then it's dehydrated. So at that very first stage of it being dehydrated, it's actually succonaut. They don't take anything out, all of the minerals and everything. Minerals in sugar cane, of course. Why do you think people take molasses? Molasses is that strap, those minerals that comes off the sugar cane, and why it's so dark. It's full of B vitamins and potassium and things like that. So it is succonaut is really that first stage after that, and they didn't have any. So I am forced to use my Zoka cane sugar, and I will. This is a pretty big jar. I don't know how many ounces this is, but it's more than a gallon. It's more like 2 gallons. So for the whole 2 gallons, I'm going to use 1.5 cups of sugar. And so I'm about to pour this in and strain this up, and I'll probably slice some lemons or some oranges or both, whichever floats my boat. I may throw in some basil or some mint or something like that. So let's get this cracking. I'm going to strain this, and I will show you my finished in a second. So I'll be back in a moment. So here I am. It's filled up the bottom of my container here. I am actually going to add in, like I said, a little more than 1.5 cups of sugar. So I am using the Zoka sugar today. Sugar, the health lady's using sugar. My kids will drink this. So in goes the sugar. And I'm actually going to fill this up with water now. So we're going to place this into the sink, and we're going to fill it with water. And this is a big container. As you can see, it is standing out of the sink, and it's a big one. So, and we're limiting sugar all around the rest of the house. So there are no cakes and cookies and things like that. I do have lots of fresh fruit for them to eat off of, lots of oranges and apples. There's no cookies here for them to snack on. So it'll be this, and tomorrow actually I'll get up and make a batch of blueberry muffins or something like that for them to snack on. But today it'll be fresh fruit for them to snack off of. Don't be too concerned about, I'm adding sugar to the herbal tea, but I need to get them to drink it. And the mineral sugar that I put, the 1.5 cups for this entire jug, and for everybody to drink off of all day, is really not that much. If you want to debate me on that, then don't feel free. Anyway, so we're filling this up. I'm going to fill this up all the way. I'm actually going to add some mint to this. I'm going to add a lemon and an orange. And don't be afraid of the foam. That's just how it does. That's how hibiscus does. I'm going to give this a good stir. And the cinnamon smells really nice in here. It smells really nice. So that's it. And I need both hands to sort of take this out of the sink. So hold on a minute. So we're back. And as you can see, I have a lemon, an orange, and a lime all sliced. And I'm going to take a spoon, spatula, something, and to give this a big stir. Now if you want to use less sugar, feel free. If you want to use no sugar, feel free. There are people that use no sugar. I tend to use a little bit at times. This is not a time, I'm in save money mode, right? And so I don't want to, and I don't buy cheap honey. So I don't want to use all of my honey for this, because honey not cheap. Good honey, good raw honey isn't cheap. I could have used half apple juice, but I don't really buy juice My kids don't drink juice. I don't buy it. Every now and then I may let me turn off the dishwasher because it's loud. I might buy some orange juice, but I don't typically buy juice, and there's no cookies. I mean, they did have a few snacks last week, but Mama's back to her normal self this week. So I'm just trying to make sure all of that sugar is dissolved. So that's it. And I'm going to drop in orange and lime and lemon. And you remember the herbs that I was growing? I showed you guys. Now, if you can see, if you remember from the other day, this cilantro has taken off tremendously. I'm gonna have to separate these, but if you can see, these top ones are standing upright, and that is new growth. And then I don't know if you remember, I said that the mint grows really fast, and these leaves are huge. They were not this big the other day. And if I take a look at the roots, see, the other day, mint grows extremely fast, which is why I won't put it in the ground. It's gonna go in a pot. Now both of them have roots. It's growing very well. And these are store-bought herbs. And if you can see all the roots that's growing on these. Store-bought herbs that I came home and put in water. And this basil is doing just fine. And I actually got some root hairs on this one. The basil is gonna grow more slowly. Where's my camera? There we go. Root hairs on these. There were no root hairs on these the other day. So these will grow roots, and after they're nice and strong, I will put them in a pot in each of these. So there's 3 basils in here. So each of these will become a new plant. And yeah, that's it. So I'm gonna take some of this mint, and I'm actually gonna just pinch off some of the bigger leaves, and it'll just really make it sprout. And am I gonna rinse these off? I rinse these off before I put them in here. I'm just gonna I got about 5 mint leaves. Gonna rinse them off a bit. And I said I was gonna show you guys my cinnamon vinegar, cleaning vinegar that I'm gonna use to make cleaner. So we're gonna rinse this off. And we're just gonna let that sit. So let me show you the cleaning vinegar. Hold on. So this is my cleaning vinegar. I took cinnamon sticks, cloves, and a few bay leaves and put them in this jar and filled it with white vinegar. And cloves and cinnamon are both antimicrobial. They can kill things. So I not only do this with cinnamon, I'll do this with lavender. I'll take lavender and fill a jar up. It's sort of like making tincture, but I'll take this vinegar here, and I do the same thing with orange peels. I'm actually going to do an orange peel jar today. So I bought a case. I buy oranges by the case. We save the peelings. You see a lot of cleaners, they have orange oil in them. The orange oil actually comes from the peelings. So I save the peelings, and then I take those peelings and sit them in vinegar and let it sit for like 2 weeks. And then the vinegar, all of the essence from the orange, all of the essential oils out of the orange peels actually ends up in the vinegar. And then I use that to clean my home. So this is cinnamon sticks. As you can see, I don't know if you can see, the cinnamon sticks have opened completely, and cloves and a few bay leaves, all of which are antimicrobial. So what does that mean in layman's terms? It kills stuff. It kills bacteria, germs, viruses, fungus, whatever. Cinnamon is also good. I don't know if you have diabetes, but cinnamon is really good, and when you drink it as a tea, for increasing your body's sensitivity to insulin. So if you are a person that is suffering or has diabetes, and your body has become unresponsive to the insulin that your body is making. So sometimes when people have diabetes, their body is no longer using the insulin that it makes. So cinnamon is good for sort of reversing that and making your body more sensitive to the insulin that it makes. So, and then on the flip side of that, cinnamon is also antimicrobial, meaning that if you are a little yeasty, sometimes women get yeast infections, or sometimes yeast pops out in other ways. your gut may be too yeasty. You may have a little too much mucus in your bowel movements. Your body is kind of yeasty. Cinnamon is really good for curbing that and helping to do that. So it's really good for you, really good to take. I'm going to be cleaning with this, and this smells amazing. I smelled it on yesterday. So it smells like cinnamon. I sort of like earthy smells. So this will be great for me. That's like a whole nother tangent. I will do actually another video later today showing you some of the orange peels. Now, I try to get my kids to save all the orange peels. Obviously, they throw some of them away, but I'll be doing that a little later today. But I just wanted to take the time to post this. This is tea. You can make tea for your family. You can sit it in a jar. It can sit in the refrigerator if you're just by yourself or just a few people at home. Make some in a, take a gallon of water and make the tea and sit it in the refrigerator. A really great way to get some extra vitamins and minerals into your system, into your family system, and just, just take good care of your body. We're all at home during this time, and just use the time wisely. Take care of yourself. Detox. I don't know, taking some herbs, learn a new craft, something. So I'm actually enjoying the time at home. It's not like I'm going crazy. I am quite introverted, so that could be a reason why. But hey, I'm about to start my day. I got to get to my desk and, get the kids up and going and all that good stuff. So, ciao. See you guys later. Okay, I forgot to mention that I added elderflower to this tea. So I know what you're thinking. You heard about elderberry syrup. And so the elderberry plant has flowers and berries. Flowers and berries. So this is elderflower that I picked up because they were out of elderberries. But it has, it's great for your sinuses. It is great for your immune system and as a whole. Not as strong on the immune boosting side as the elderberries, but not to be overlooked. It comes from the same plant, so it has the same things in it as the plant. Sometimes on plants the roots have things that the flowers don't have, or the leaves don't have, or the fruit don't have. Not really the case with elderflower. So this comes from the same plant. It is chock full of vitamin C, and it has vitamin E as well, and it's just good for a lot of things. Good for your sinuses. This is also a diuretic, and I also might add that this can help loosen your bowels a little bit if you have a little bit of constipation going on. It can have a laxative effect. I did not use too much, probably 2 tablespoons for the whole thing, but don't get it twisted. I am one of those mamas. I will slip a laxative into some herbal tea for my kids in a minute. This is not one of those times. This is not why I was using it. So tea is basically just something good for us to drink, and extra vitamins, extra minerals, extra stuff. And there's never a time when you don't need that. And if you didn't know, vitamin C, your body does not store vitamin C. So it's something you need to take in on a daily basis. So most of these things here are full of vitamin C. So the elderflower, the hibiscus, full of vitamin C. The rose hips, full of vitamin C. So you take them in every day.